You can win on Western Land every single time if you do these two things. Disclaimer. This is made specifically for Mario Party Jamboree's version of Western Land, so if this strategy doesn't work on Mario Party 2, don't blame me. This strategy also works best on a 30-turn game with classic bonus stars. The best way to play competitive Mario Party in my opinion. But it can be used on all modes. However, I really wouldn't try it on Frenzy mode because it's too fast-paced of a game. Alright, the first thing you want to do is use star traps early and often. Now, you might be thinking, the star trap is a bad item that's easily avoidable in this game with all the movement items and the custom dice, so no one will land on star traps. And you'd be right. I actually made a video about that very thing. But on Western Land, star traps are actually really useful, as long as you know where to put them. The prime real estate for these star traps are the 4 spaces in front of the start. These are the spaces that will always have players going near them because it's where you're sent after you get hit by the steamer. Since getting hit by the steamer is relatively common, it's literally the main gimmick on this board after all, you'll always have an opponent nearby to land on these spaces. These spaces are also right before a junction, so your opponents can't just choose to go a different way to avoid the traps. However, since this is prime real estate for traps, your opponents will also try to put their traps there first. So just like regular real estate, getting in as early as possible is the best way to go. These star traps stay for the entire game until they're landed on, so the more turns they have placed down on the board, the more opportunity people have to land on them. The next best place to put traps is around the boo areas. There's no golden pipe on this board, so one of the best strategies is to go to boos and steal stars. There's also 2 spots for boos on this map, so it's likely you'll be stolen from at least a couple of times. But a great way to deter that, or get your stars back, is by having these star traps around those boo spots on the map. After these 2 locations, you can try to put a star trap around the Wiggler's Milk Shop because, you call people over there and maybe they'll land on it, but I definitely prioritize the first location the most. But please, wherever you put the star traps, make sure they're not in just random spots by itself. You gotta make sure these star traps are grouped up at least somewhat and in areas where people are gonna be moving around a lot to maximize the chance of them getting hit. Before I get to the second part of how to win on Western Land, I just want to say that obviously you should still be winning minigames, going for Jamboree buddies, and having a custom dice block on you at all times. These are just normal things that you have to do in Jamboree to win, so you better still be doing them. Also, please subscribe if you like these tips and want me to do them for the rest of the boards on Jamboree. Alright, back to it. The second and most important thing you need to do is to control the steamer. If you control the train, you control the game. That means that you need to buy those steamer tickets whenever you pass by the steamer booth. You should always have one of those on you when you need it. Using these items to call the steamer, or landing on the event spaces, or just riding the steamer in general is so important on this board because you can use it to control where your opponents are on the board. Oh no, your opponent is right next to a boo and will definitely steal from you. Well, let me just use the steamer to bump him out of the way and protect myself. Since both boos are located on the train tracks, you can easily use it to hit your opponents away from it. And that's not even the best part. Since you knocked them back to the start, they once again have to roll through that death valley you set up with your star traps, giving you even more opportunities to gain stars. Now, you might be worried as well, because the steamer tickets do go up in price each time one of them is bought. So over the course of 30 turns, this item easily will cost you over 20 coins. But I still think that's a bargain for how useful it is on this board. Also, in Jamboree, you get coins for literally doing anything. There's 21 lucky spaces on this board alone. That's 20% of all the spaces. So if you don't have any coins on you, that's kind of your fault. Speaking of spaces, the steamer tracks covers 41 total spaces, which is just under half of all the spaces on the board, which means it's very likely that you'll have opponents on the tracks to hit out of the way. Importantly, 7 out of 10 star locations on Western Land are on the tracks. Remember, this map does not have a golden pipe, so utilizing the steamer well will prevent other players from getting stars. So it's basically like a chomp call as well. Your opponents are going to be around boos or trying to get stars on the tracks, so you'll want to get that steamer moving to hit them out of the way and into danger. And that's it. If you use star traps effectively and control the steamer, then you can easily win on Western Land very consistently. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.